Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. We are from the first group. And let me you know me first. My name is Ratu Nurul Jannah, and I will be moderating this discussion. Okay, the topic of discussion is understanding the relationship between translation and culture. And then the presenter are Nur Huspirati Hikmah, Nur Hikmah, Anissa Alfariza Muiz, Kurniawan Hamid, Julian Saputra, and Muhammad Aksan. Okay, let's moving along to next session. Okay, the first presenter is Nur Husfirati Hikmah, who will explain about culture and language.
Alright, culture. Culture reflects the ways in which people behave. It is a pattern in which we analyze the behavior, social habits, beliefs, tradition, and customs. When we are trying to know more about the culture, language plays an important role, and to understand language, one needs translation as one might not know of the particular language. Continue with language. Language here simply means the tie that keeps cultural significance on a loop. Language can also be classified as the complex system of communication that humans adapt, varying from various cultural backgrounds. It makes for the most of the communication system in any culture, or we can say every culture. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that excellent presentation. And the next presenter is Nur Hikmah, who will explain about translation.
Well, the next is translation. So, translation is a comforting process that helps people who speak different languages to understand each other's perspective and be able to maintain a healthy communication. That is a definition of translation. Translation is against get down to connecting cultures and eradicating the culture's differences that might exist. The importance of translation in cultures and language is high because it pushes the will ahead for better communication between two parties.
Okay, thanks for that excellent presentation. And the third presenter is Anissa Alfariza Muiz, who will explain about what does a good translation do and how it affects cultural exchange.
Alright, I'm going to explain the next material. What does a good translation do and how it affects cultural exchange? A good translation gives the reader the same feel that he or she might get while reading a particular text in his or her native language. The importance of translation in culture is that it helps to communicate the beliefs and ideas in a proper way, which could be understood by people from different literary and cultural backgrounds. Language is a big and important part of any culture, and being able to speak both the native language and another language does help preserve culture. The more a child knows of the native language and its origin, the more curious the child is to know of his or her culture. Maintaining a cultural and linguistic identity is a great thing in a world where English seems to dominate. The fact that people are trying to sustain their cultures is a point of joy.
Okay, thanks for that excellent presentation. And the next presenter by me, I'm gonna explain about relationship between culture and translation. Okay, the next material is relationship between culture and translation. Translation, as defined by Engin Naida, an American translation theorist, she says translation consists in reproducing the receptor language, the cloud's natural equivalent of the source language. First in terms of meaning, secondly in terms of style. When we talk of keeping the meaning intact and the style at a place, we imply that it should help a reader is able to connect to the text and understand the reference in his own native language. Translation is highly influenced by cultural difference, and the accuracy in any translate text is highly proportional to the knowledge the translator has of another culture. This implies that translation not only tests a translator's linguistic ability, but also how much he or she knows of the target language cultural background. Okay, the next presenter is Kurniawan. Will explain about the influence that culture has on translation.
Okay, the next material, the influence that culture has on translation. One cannot overlook the influence that culture has on language and translation. The knowledge of another culture makes it easier for a translator to translate, and it keeps the accuracy on a check. The aim of translation is to achieve semantic equivalence, and that can only be achieved with a good knowledge of the target language and the source language cultural background.
Okay, thanks for that excellent presentation. And the next presenter is Julian Syaputra, who will explain about what are culture universal.
Alright, so the next one is what is cultural universal. So this term might be new to a lot of people, but culture universal help us enhance communication that and couldn't have been achieved without translation. This exchange of idea, traits, and intercultural expansion is due to the concept of culture universal and make up for most of our spiritual and material lives. Culture and translation have a very deeply rooted relationship. Jadi budaya universal itu dapat membantu kita untuk meningkatkan komunikasi dan tidak dapat dicapai tanpa terjemahan. Seperti contohnya itu pertukaran ide, perdagangan, dan ekspansi antar budaya. Karena konsep budaya karena hal itu tercapai karena adanya budaya universal. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for the excellent presentation. And the last presenter is Muhammad Ahsan, who will explain about hiring the right translation company.
Hiring the right translation company. We cannot overlook the fact that even words and their meaning vary from language to language, and to be able to help a person understand another language, it is highly important to know the culture disparities. The fact that culture and translation share a scared bond is inevitable. This is why hiring professional translation service becomes a pressing issue. If you are obliged with the importance of translation in culture, then Bahasa Bharati is the one whom you must connect with.
Okay, that's all our presentation, and the next session is closing. I want to say thanks for all our presenters, and thanks for kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.